This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media, conducting pre-Natural Resources Investment Symposium interviews in support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium, July 7 through 11 in Boca Raton, Florida. You can attend live, of course, or via live stream. In today's interview, I have the good fortune to interview my very longtime friend, Frank Trotter, who is starting, with a little assistance from me, a new bank. I think we should start by having you describe some of your prior successes in banking, perhaps briefly going back to when we first met each other, but then more importantly, your efforts to start EverBank and the outcome of that for depositors and investors.
Well, it sounds good, Rick. And of course, we go back to, as to what Chuck Butler would have said, when the Dead Sea was only sick, in the 1980s and 90s, when I was at Mark Twain Banks, when we began the foreign currency deposits and precious metals dealing long ago and far away. But perhaps more importantly, right around 2000, we launched something called EverBank, which we grew from a dead stop to about 28 billion prior to a sale in 2017 to TIAA. And we have gathered a number of those original team members: Vinny Amato, our director of operations, Jason Coots, our chief marketing officer, and a number of other really experienced individuals who helped to build EverBank into that colossus from a dead stop in 2000. And we're very excited as a result to be launching BattleBank with this highly experienced team, both from EverBank, Solera National Bank, and Enterprise Bank, all deeply experienced individuals.
What would you suggest were the unique features that allowed you to succeed as EverBank when so many banks failed during that period of time? And why do you think that those strategies might be applicable to the success of BattleBank?
I think we very focused on a very particular market of individuals, and we kind of look at a community bank, and we regard BattleBank and really even EverBank as a community bank, not defined by geography, by like-minded individuals, people who are tracking independent financial research, interested in their own investments, interested in controlling their own lives and thinking independently. And I think as a result, by focusing on this group and not just going out to the mass market and hoping that we get a lot of clicks, we resulted in an institution that had a sort of a higher than average deposit value. It had a individual that was willing to look at multiple alternatives. And also, we were able to offer them those many multiple alternatives. And with people like Jason Coots, our chief marketing officer, who was with us at EverBank for almost 10 years, reach out to that group of people and engage like a community bank, even though we were a central location dealing with people all over the country.
I've joked that the BattleBank constituency is probably defined by competence and sanity, which is to say that you aren't going to have a branch banking network. Describe for me the advantages to depositors and borrowers of not having the cost associated with a branch banking network.
I think the key with a branch banking network is no matter how efficiently you do it, it's a high cost business. Everybody has seen real estate leases go up over the years, and I was in a bank not too long ago, probably had 5,000 square feet, had 15 to 20 individuals, and while I was there for 45 minutes, no clients. Now, that's not my view of how you leverage real estate. You put 125 to 150 basis points of cost on every deposit. We're able to also concentrate talent. When you want to call BattleBank on the phone, you're getting an individual that has many, many years of experience, not somebody reading off a script that just got out of school or perhaps just came into the neighborhood. You're getting somebody who's done that transaction you're asking about 10,000 times before. And in addition, we're able to concentrate and provide better value to the client. If we're not paying for all those branch costs, which are not only the real estate, but audit, you have a vault, you have security, you have many other things that go into that process. And as a result, we're able to give back to the depositor, to the shareholder, a much better value. And that surprisingly attracts people. When you give people a good value, they tend to come on and get involved with the organization.
So let's talk about that value proposition. First of all, for the depositor, two deposit products I want you to talk about: the US dollar denominated high yield money market account, and then the foreign currency and index CD business.
The high yield cash account that we're going to launch at Battle Bank is pretty straightforward. I've always been puzzled. I go to some of the big box banks and they have 10 or 15 different checking products. Well, that's kind of odd. We'll have one. It's a high yield cash account. If you prefer to use that as a piggy bank and put savings in it, fantastic. If you want to use it as a full service checking account, even better. Today's rates might be in the 4.3, 4.4% range. And if you look at the big box banks, they're paying 0.02 to 0.05% on that similar type of product. I think that's a remarkable difference. The other part of that, you mentioned the foreign currency deposits. We've been dealing in foreign currency deposits since the 1980s. If you wish to diversify into foreign currencies, be that the euro, the yen, going downward at the moment, of course, but others that may be going upwards, perhaps the Chinese renminbi, the Australian dollar, 18 different choices. You could do that either in a money market deposit account or in short-term CDs, 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. They pay interest based on the interest in the local currency. And as a result, you can benefit both from the interest rate differential, but perhaps from the improvement in that currency versus the US dollar. Our market index CDs also give you a principal protected return, typically 100% principal protection, but participating in an index. Perhaps it's commodities, perhaps it's an equity market, perhaps it's something else that you have a belief in but wish to have protection against. And they're also super for those retirement accounts where you really don't want to lose any money.
And then let's move on from there. One of the things that's really attracted me about the Battle Bank business plan has been the concept at Battle Bank that your IRA can actually be your IRA. You can make the decisions rather than having it a receptacle for financial products generated by the financial supermarkets. Talk to me about the IRA program, at Battle Bank.
Not a worry at all. If you go to a typical broker dealer, whether it's Schwab or Fidelity, Vanguard, or any other broker dealer, they're typically going to put mutual funds, be they stock or fixed income, into your portfolio, and that's about it. If you go in and say, "Well, I'd like to do some of the other things that are eligible for an IRA," they're going to say, "Well, no, thank you. How about a mutual fund?" We don't think that's the right way to do it. We think that something called a checkbook IRA puts you in control of your own investing. As we said, we have a like-minded community that likes to think on their own. Perhaps they want to do multifamily housing. Perhaps they want to make hard money loans. Perhaps they want to invest in something else that's eligible for an IRA. We'll be giving them the opportunity to do that. And in addition, if you're doing multifamily housing, there's a possibility we might actually make a loan against that for your IRA. So you're able to leverage that, earn the income as it goes along, and benefit much more broadly than if you're constrained by the products of the big financial supermarkets. We think that's the right way to do it. This also applies to solo 401ks. A lot of you may have had a gig job, or maybe you're just a solo proprietorship. A solo 401k is a great way to shelter some income and make the investments that allow you to have a great retirement down the road.
One of the many things that's always made me nervous about big box banks, Frank, is that they try to be all things to all people. They try to loan to 1,000 different industries. And I think with respect, nobody can loan to 1,000 different industries. Tell me something about the asset side of your balance sheet. Tell me something about lending products that will be available to customers.
Well, we'll obviously be able to serve our community in many different ways, but I wanted to really highlight one particular type of loan. Now, many of our clients like precious metals. They hold gold, they hold silver, and they hold other precious metals. And they have a passion about that. And we happen to believe, like they do, that that's a great investment. But sometimes you want to make another investment. Maybe you want to buy some land. Maybe you want to make an investment in the company. Maybe you want to put a deck on the backyard. You don't want to sell that gold or silver. We'll be able to make you a loan against that, secured by precious metals, gold or silver, and held by us in custody. Now, I think that's a very important element to provide liquidity for your precious metals holding. That way, you're able to hold on to the gold or silver, allow that appreciation should it occur, and at the same time, get a little bit of liquidity to be able to do whatever you need to do in your life, be that something around the house, be that something more major, or perhaps even buy more precious metals if that's your viewpoint. We think that's going to be a very unique product and something that really nobody else in the market's doing effectively.
I think one of the other things that bears talking about is our suggestion that this will be a sanity-based bank. One of the things that frightens me when I see the big box banks' balance sheets is that I, after 45 or 50 years of reading balance sheets and income statements, don't understand them. Could you talk to something about Battle Bank's fiscal conservatism, in particular, the tendency of great big banks to trade in over-the-counter derivatives, and our policy, Battle Bank's policy with regards to that?
Well, I think, derivatives are a great element. I mean, what they do is they allow you to hedge different things, be it the asset side or the liability side of your balance sheet, and provide protection for the depositors. Certainly, we'll be using the derivatives to do that. But when you get into trading, typically a match book where you have one client taking one side and another client taking the other side, and if you take a few hundreds out of the middle, you make a little bit of money. But that has the potential, not necessarily the probability, to be a house of cards. And we're just simply not going to be doing that. We're inherently fiscally conservative individuals that are running Battle Bank and the management team. And we're not out there to make a quick buck. We're out there for the long run. We're out there for our depositors. We're out there for our clients and for our shareholders. And we're not here just to take a few hundreds on a trade and hope that both sides make good on the transaction. Now, obviously, in 2008, we saw a lot of that come down. It's going to happen again. It certainly could. Doesn't mean it's absolutely going to do it, but we're really more fiscally conservative. We want to run a solid, traditional bank and not one that's trading in over-the-counter derivatives as a match book.
Finally, Frank, we've talked about a few constituents here. The depositors, the borrowers. There's a different constituency, which is to say the owners. Battle Bank hopefully will be owned by its customers. But if somebody is an accredited investor, there may be the opportunity to invest in Battle Bank. Could you talk very briefly to what people who are interested in becoming owners of Battle Bank might do?
I'd be happy to, Rick. And first of all, of course, when you're at the Natural Resources Symposium in Boca Raton in July, you can certainly stop by the booth and we'll be happy to talk to you about that in person. But I think you should visit battlebank.com. There you can learn about the ways you might possibly invest in Battle Bank if you're an accredited investor. We have a tab called Invest. There's a banner at the top, and we welcome you to take a look at that. And if you're an accredited investor, see if you'd like to join us on the journey. We agree that having depositors and clients that are also shareholders is kind of an ideal situation. It's how community banks have been run for hundreds of years, perhaps thousands. And we really want to continue that tradition. And we, as a result, hopefully all of us will gain over time.
I should note that I'm currently a greater than 10% shareholder of Battle Bank, and I intend to be a 9.9% shareholder on opening. So there are some conflicts of interest here. Frank, tell us finally, for people who are interested in learning more about Battle Bank before the conference, how they would go about doing that and who they would contact. What is the contact information?
Well, the contact information is extremely simple. It's on the web, battlebank.com. we'd love for you to join the wait list and continue to get information about Battle Bank, when we're going to open, what our progress is, some of the exciting things. And we'll also be asking you questions there. So really, it's quite simple. Going to battlebank.com, explore our product set, look at our people, take a look at the Invest tab, and sure, join that wait list, and we'll let you know when we're ready to have you as a client. We're looking forward to doing that as soon as we possibly can.
Frank, thank you for many years of battling for better banking. Thank you for your efforts around Battle Bank, and thank you, of course, for your ongoing support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
We're ready to fight for your business and battle for better banking. Rick, we'll see you in Boca Raton in July.
Thank you.